नमस्कार, MH1 प्राइम आप देख रहे हैं। मैं हूं आपके साथ परमीत कौर वालिया। बहुत ही खास टॉपिक के साथ आज हम आपके सामने रूबरू होने जा रहे हैं। एक ऐसा टॉपिक जो आजकल ट्रेंडिंग में है, जो आजकल सभी की नज़रों में है, क्योंकि कोविड-19 के इस पीरियड में फैमिली रिलेशनशिप्स, परिवार बहुत सफ़र कर रहे हैं। बॉन्डिंग नहीं बन पा रही, बहुत सारे रीजंस हैं, इरिटेशन है, डिप्रेशन है, और ये सारी चीज़ें जो आती हैं ना, वो आती हैं फैमिली रिलेशनशिप्स में। क्यों हमारी फैमिली जो है वो सफ़र कर रही है, रिलेशनशिप्स क्यों नहीं स्ट्रांग हो पा रहा, जॉइंट फैमिली में अगर हम रहते हैं तो किन किन चीज़ों को हम फेस कर रहे हैं आजकल के इस टाइम पर। तो इन सारे मुद्दों के साथ आज हम बातचीत करेंगे। हमारे सामने पेश हैं मैरिएला। सो हाय मैरिएला।
Hi Parmeet, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Yes, good.
Namaste.
Yes, namaste to all.
Yes. So आज मैरिएला हमारे सामने हैं और लगातार हम ऐसे इश्यूज को आपके सामने उठाते जा रहे हैं। मैरिएला हमारे साथ लगातार बनी हुई हैं। डेली हम जो है वो एपिसोड्स लेकर आते हैं और लगातार आपके सामने ये पेश करते हैं अलग अलग टॉपिक्स के साथ। जिन चीज़ों को आप फेस कर रहे हैं वो टॉपिक्स हम वो उठाते हैं। तो किस तरह से फैमिली रिलेशनशिप सफ़र कर रही हैं कोविड-19 के इस पीरियड में, मैरिएला से जानते हैं क्या क्या इसके पीछे रीजंस हो सकते हैं। मैरिएला, in this COVID-19 situation, family relationship suffers. Why?
Yes, that's a very good question. I mean, we all know that the more we spend time together, the more difficult and the more chances we have, of course, to fight or to have a different in opinions. Plus, this is a situation we have never been in before. So for certain people, the level of anxiety has gone up and they panic. So this anxiety, of course, is having an impact on the whole system. And if the other member of the families, they don't know what to do with their anxiety and they get actually affected and they get anxious and panicky themselves, that is not going to help the situation. So this is a new kind of scenario. We have not been in this before. So we are spending a lot of time together. We don't have that many distractions. We're not traveling. We are maybe the space. Also, you know, people don't have so much space to have their own me time. So that creates a lot of tension. And that, of course, is having an impact on the relationship.
Is COVID-19 changing our relationships?
So more than changing our relationship, is changing the way we do relationship. Because, as I said, if somebody is anxious, it cannot be, or she cannot be, in a place where, I don't know, you can help or support the other person. You're looking after yourself first. So maybe the difficulty in understanding what the other person is going through, or not being equipped to deal with a new scenario. Or, oh yes, a lot of fathers, for instance, they're spending lots of time with their children. They didn't spend so much time before. And now they might not know how to be comfortable in that kind of closeness, how to relate to them. And that has an impact on the way we do relationship.
So, Mariella, why family relationships are important for our well-being?
Yes. So, connections, that's what is important. It's not just family relationship, and it's about the quality of the relationship. If it's a healthy family environment, of course, all the members in the family will benefit. But if it's not healthy, it can be a disaster. And all the research on positive psychology, they tell us that bonding, having a social network, feeling connected is what increases our well-being. Of course, family, it's, as I said, healthy or not healthy. Unfortunately, in my office, and this is my office, I see a lot of people who had difficulties in their family of origins. So they were brought up in an environment which was very conflictual, lots of resentment, a lot of unhappiness, and to some extreme cases, sexual abuse. I see female telling me about situation where the father was abusive sexually, the brother, some other situation with the sister with the brother or the grandfather. So all these situation makes family not a safe and a good place. So family is important, but when it's a healthy family.
Mariella, how to communicate to strengthen our family relationship?
Yes, and it's very, very true. Communication is very important. But in order for us to communicate, we need to feel safe. I see some couples, they come to me and they tell me, we can only have this conversation with you in this office because that's where I feel safe. Otherwise, a lot of times communication or conversation end up in fights. And that's when people don't feel safe and they then don't allow themselves to have a voice. And the communication should be honest. Honest means not that everything that I think I need to tell you, but what I tell you, it's actually what I think. This is another important bit. And also be open about how you feel. Because if you don't express, don't think that the other person is gonna know or guess, oh, he lost me, she lost me, they should know what are my needs. It doesn't work like that. If you really want to communicate, you need to tell the other person what you need and ask, also ask. Or if you think that you know your partner or your children so well that you know what they think, maybe sometimes you need to double check. And maybe you're very good at guessing because you know them well, but make sure, ask, oh, I think that you now are thinking or feeling this way. Am I right? Or do you want to tell me a bit more about that?
Okay, so Mariella, हम लोग किस तरह से फैमिली में appreciate कर सकते हैं? How can we value and appreciate each other?
Very important. We said communication, but also appreciation. And appreciation is not just by saying thank you or I appreciate you have done that, but maybe give more meat to whatever you say. Oh, I appreciate you doing that because that is telling me this and this about you. You know, make it more personalized and yes, with a bit of, as I said, more meat. So for the other person, it is also important to know that it's not just you saying thank you just to say it, but you really believe that what the person is doing has some value. And we are all more or less, you know, brought up focusing on the negative, unfortunately. So the idea is, how do I shift from this negative way of looking at things and make it positive? So learn how to spot the good things that your spouse or your children or your mother-in-law, father-in-law, what the people you're living with, what are the good things that they do? So shift your attention, not just on the negative. As I said, we were all brought up in that manner, but more or less everyone has 50% of good and bad things. So focus on the positive. Look for exceptions. That will make you, first of all, see the person on a different light and also learn to appreciate not only in the people around you, but also when it comes to yourself.
फैमिली के साथ टाइम स्पेंड करना कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है? Why spending time with family is important?
Yes, because if you don't spend time with the people you love, how do you get to know them? You want to know them. You need to spend time. Bonding is very important. Connection. That's what people want. That's when people feel that they are in a relationship with somebody, with the son, the daughter, the spouse, that connection. And in order to do that, you need to spend time. You need to laugh with the people you love. You need to do fun stuff. You need to communicate. And so in order to do all this, you need to spend time together. And of course, quality time. It's not time when you are on your phone or your computer and you're not even listening. So spending time together, and the time should be the time where you are actually there. You're not thinking of something else. Like right now, I'm talking to you guys, and that's what I'm doing. I'm not distracted by other things. I'm here in the moment. And that's the important bit. That's when you will feel the connection and you will feel the importance of spending time together. You will get the nourishment that is very important. That's why we spend time with each other. We nourish each other, and we get that, yes, as I said, that kind of sense of well-being, feeling good factor.
राइट सो मैरिएला का कहना है कि अपने बॉन्ड को स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाइए, ये नहीं कि आप इलेक्ट्रॉनिक प्रोडक्ट्स में लग गए हैं और आप फ़ोन में हैं और अगर आपका बेबी है तो वो आपको सुन नहीं रहा. तो फैमिली एक बॉन्ड को बनाना बहुत ही ज़रूरी है, राइट मैरिएला? सो द 3 बेस्ट वेज टू स्पेंड टाइम विद आवर फैमिली, व्हाट आर द 3 बेस्ट वेज?
Yes, now I have the power to tell you the big 3 secrets. But the funny bit is that there's no 3 best ways. The 3 best ways, or the 4 or 5, are the ways that you guys as a family decide are the 3 best. Meaning, it's not somebody imposing, it's not somebody having more power, but the family as a whole. What do you guys want to do? What are the things that you enjoy? And together we come to an understanding and agreement on what these things are. And sometimes it's also good to give in. You know, let's say your children wants to watch some, I don't know, movies, or your husband, and you're not interested in that, but give yourself a chance. Maybe something that you will kind of over time start liking, or things that you might learn something out of it. When you look at, I don't know, your children or your spouse doing things that they enjoy, you might also get passionate about that. So there's no such a thing as 3 best things, is whatever you with the family agreed on.
सो मैरिएला, कोविड-19 के इस टाइम पर जॉइंट फैमिली सफ़र कर रही है, रिलेशनशिप को स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाना है. सो हाउ टू लिव हैप्पीली इन अ जॉइंट फैमिली?
This is a very tricky question, and I hope I'm going to answer in an appropriate way. Happy, yes. I mean, we are all looking for this happiness, but what does it mean, happy? So, are all the members in the joint family have the same shared understanding of happy? Maybe I will not say happy, I will say healthy environment at home. Because this is the first question. What does it mean healthy? And do you all have the same understanding? Okay, so if you guys want to have a healthy kind of environment, you all need to work towards it. Meaning, compassion. Of course, use compassion. Try to understand where the other person is coming from. When somebody says something, there is a rationale behind what the person is saying, or why the person is doing what he or she is doing. So be curious about that. Another bit can be, as I said before, communicate. If you don't have a voice and you keep things inside, whatever you keep inside, it will come out in other manner, in other ways. Maybe by resentment, maybe by disagreeing with the other person. So it's very important to have a voice, to, as I said, to show compassion, to keep other people in mind. As we said, it's not about the single individual, it's about overall well-being. So how do you all contribute to the well-being, that kind of, how do I say, well-being, that kind of environment in the family? You all need to contribute. So more than looking at what is the other person not doing, try to look inside, what am I doing or not doing in order to make that environment healthy? And work on it.
So Mariella, you are from different country.
Yes.
You have many clients, joint family clients. What advice you give them?
Yes, that's a very interesting question. Lots of my clients ask me, oh, but you are from a different culture. How do you understand joint family? And if there was one unique way of doing joint families, maybe it will be easier even for me because I will just read up, and that's what joint family is. But there are so many different ways of doing joint families. So, and this is not just for me being from a different country. Any therapist who is even from this country should be curious, because joint family means different things for different people. So being from a different culture actually allows me to be curious, to ask certain questions. I don't take things for granted. I really want to know from this husband, this wife, this mother-in-law, what is the meaning that they attach? What is their understanding? How do they do their own joint families? Because I've seen many couples coming from joint families, but let's say the wife joined the family of the husband, but the wife was doing joint family in a different way. In her joint families, there were different, I'm not saying value, but different ways of maybe treating female, or I don't know, different ways of dividing the chores. So you see, there is not just one way. So what is your way? That's what I always ask people. That's what I'm interested in, because that will tell me a lot of things, but not just tell me things. It will help people to it will give the people the opportunity to find the time and the space where to reflect and not take things for granted. Reflecting, when we reflect, there is the time when we find different kind of answers. It's not me giving advice, it's for the people to find their own answers when they have a shared understanding of the meaning.
Mariella, what are the major challenges to living in a joint family in this hard time?
Yes. As I said initially, space. If you are always on top of each other, if you don't have boundaries. Yes, this is a very important concept. I always see this, and I wouldn't say just in India, but among my Indian clients, boundaries. Sometimes people think that if I love you, if you love me, there should not be boundaries. So me time is seen as, oh, the other person is rejecting me, is pushing me away. But it's important. We all need our private time. We all need our time and space where we take care of ourselves. If we don't take care of our own needs first, how can we help our children, or the spouse, or the other people in the family? So boundary it's a very important bit that maybe during this time, so many people in the house, is more difficult to establish, but it's very important to make all the members of the family to understand. So the boundaries, the space, me time. Do you have anything in mind, Parmit? I know you live in a joint family. Maybe you have some issues yourself during this COVID time. What have you noticed?
Okay, so I live in a joint family, yes, and very happily. But अगर हम COVID-19 की बात करें तो bond बनाना बहुत ज़रूरी है. बॉन्ड को रिलेशनशिप को स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाना बहुत ज़रूरी है, चाहे वो पेरेंट्स के लिए क्यों ना हो, चाहे वो सिस्टर ब्रदर का क्यों ना हो, तो आप अपने फैमिली बॉन्ड को ज़रूर स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाएं. ओके, सो Mariella,
the bond is stronger.
Yes, bond is stronger.
Guys, I understand Hindi. Tora. Yes, Parmit, that's a very interesting point, because we said about the challenges, but COVID can also be an opportunity, especially in healthy joint families. This can be a very good opportunity to make the bond stronger, as Parmit was saying is happening in her family. So it's not just about challenges, it's also taking this taking advantage of the situation to do something to make it even better when it's already good. Of course, if it was bad to start with, that maybe the job is a little bit more tricky.
Right. ओके, तो ये थी Mariella जिन्होंने हमारे साथ एक अपने एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करे. उन्होंने बताया कि किस तरह से आप फैमिली रिलेशनशिप को स्ट्रॉन्ग कर सकते हो, किस तरह से आप अपने बॉन्ड को स्ट्रॉन्ग रख सकते हो, स्पेशली इन दिस कोविड सिचुएशन, इन दिस हार्ड टाइम. सो थैंक यू Mariella फॉर शेयरिंग योर एक्सपीरियंस. थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
ओके, सो ये थी मैरियला जिनको 20 साल से ज़्यादा का एक्सपीरियंस है। उन्होंने हमारे साथ अपने एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करे और स्पेशली वो इन्हीं सिचुएशंस के साथ डील करती हैं कि किस तरह से आप अपने रिलेशनशिप को स्ट्रॉन्ग कर सकते हैं, किस तरह से आप अपने बॉन्ड को स्ट्रॉन्ग कर सकते हैं। सो इसी के साथ हमारे इस खास पेशकश में इतना ही। दीजिए इजाज़त, नमस्कार।